Dear listeners, I'm very honored and happy today speak to you. My name is Marina Petrakova, and I'm a V-Reach health tech startup co-founder and CEO, and also Riga Tigros core team member and co-creator. And today I'm super happy to talk about how to become a future heroine. And to be precise, today we will talk in a perspective of mostly technology. Mainly what I do in my life for now, I serve as co-creator in organization Riga Tech Girls, which aim is to empower and educate women and tech and girls also. And actually, I am co-creator. I do a lot of things starting from organizing different events and making design and organizing hackathons. And also, I am V-Reach Startup co-founder and CEO, product owner, social media manager, business development lead, and so on and so on. And I actually would like to mention that if we talk about startup founders, it's known, and actually, it was scientific research that when you say to people, how can you imagine start a founder, and most of people imagine 45 years old man who is risky, who is a programmer, who has no family, who have 24 on 7 parties and having a lot of different parties, got some investment from some friends or other obstacles, lives definitely in Silicon Valley and has entrepreneur mindset typically associated with a man. And why I say this? Because I am female founder and I am founder of a startup here in Latvia, and I'm not a man. I'm 29 years old and I look totally differently. And I do have medical and pedagogical education in a let's say background in the health sciences, and my specialization is in medical rehabilitation and audiology speech language pathology. Basically it's rehabilitation and I'm, let's say, doctor. And in my daily life I do a lot of things, and one of them are that I lead several teams in startup, in Riga Tech Girls, in other organizations. I'm also I got to Forbes 30 under 30 list in technology, in technology sphere, and I would love to call myself humanist, and I would like to share my ideas why it's important. And mainly the thing which I do is a startup, and startup is called VReach, and we help the mind with the power of virtual reality. And basically, our product is a virtual reality tool and methodology how doctors can conduct therapy and rehabilitation sessions to different children with different disorders, starting from autistic spectrum disorders to language disorders and some others. And for now, basically, functional specialists use our product here in Latvia. More than 300 children already received our therapy, and more than 50 children receive continuous therapy. And for now, we do have 3 remote cases, and I will tell you about what does that mean. But firstly, where I start. Well, these are two photographies and 2 pictures of mine. This girl is me. And I started my life 29 years ago in Moscow. And I really love these 2 pictures because I love the idea, enthusiasm, and visual contact, how I act here. And these are 2 pictures who inspire me in daily life, so I keep them very close to me, near to my bed. So every time when I get up in and go to empower and go to make big things, I think about that girl who was born 29 years ago. And that thing which I would like to say that in the previous picture you saw my mom, and when I was 8 years old, I unfortunately my mom died, and I became to be supported and live with my grandmother and grandfather. And my grandfather was extremely big empowerment for me and support. And in this case, my family was totally supporting me in terms of autonomy, in terms of my interests. And my grandfather, he was an entrepreneur. He was quite famous person in a sense of engineering and technology here in Latvia. And my grandmother, she is still amazing grandmother who raised me and who is actually also engineer of physics. And she gave me a lot of opportunities in life to do everything what I want to do, just making the backup of my life. So I grew up in a family mostly of two people, of my grandfather and grandmother. And when my mom died, I was 8 years old, and it was huge stress for me. And in the next days, when I was trying to put my life to the right point, I found out that the music is the huge power of me and huge, let's say, interest of me. So I got to play different instruments into music school, and this was also the point where I just understood that I am talented, but it's not enough. I have to work a lot. I have to learn how to play piano. I have to learn how to play guitars. So around 21 years old, I'm a musician, more or less professional musician. And this is the key how I fight with stress and how I motivate myself to do things which are very complicated sometimes. And since I was a child and I started my journey in music, I didn't really realize, but all of my interests and all of the things which I demonstrated natural interest was supported by my grandfather. And much many years after, I received a gift of guitar, and with this writing on guitar, that the girl that rocks the world. And actually, it was not obvious for me because I always felt very alone. I always felt supported, but still distant from other people. And basically, I always wanted to help people. And when I was 19 years old, I got budget place in a prestige university here in Latvia, in medical university. And I understood and I felt that the only one thing which I can do in a professional life, all right, I play piano, but it's not enough. I want to help people. And in my logic, it was totally obvious that I have to be a doctor, and I have to help people in the sense of medicine. So I'm graduated by university, medical university here in Latvia, and also in university in Portugal. And I basically started to work with the children with a different disorder, starting from autistic spectrum disorder to hearing disorder, and so on and so on. And I worked in this profession as certified specialist, more or less. More than 5 years, and I got extremely deep dive into how works help to the people, how works society where I live, and how works the structure of field where I work, because I worked in the medicine field. So basically, how my reality, let's say, was looking like, right? So I was graduated in a medical school, and it was my conscious choice because I always wanted it all, and I wanted to develop myself very rapidly, and I wanted to take everything from my experience. So I started to work with the children, and in a year I had more than 3,000 children. and every second, unfortunately, was with autistic spectrum disorders. And my working time always was actually, yeah, for more than 3 years, with no vacations and no weekends. And I started my day on 7:30 and finished by night. And 95% of my patients were children who need innovative and creative health solutions. So my job was very creative and was very interesting in a sense of different parts of personality which I should demonstrate into helping people and their relatives. So medical rehabilitation in my sense was about to assess, about to diagnose, about to plan the therapy, about to heal, about to create therapy, because the materials which you use are not you have to create them, yeah, right? So you have to deliver some therapy in sense of language, either speech, either cognitive things, and you have to create the materials for children and collaborate with the parents to give them information how a child will proceed and if the therapy makes sense. So basically, my job was extremely similar to the job of Sherlock Holmes. So you have to find the problem, and problems are extremely complicated with a lot of levels. And I found it out that in spite of the quality of my work and extremely big amount of patience and great feedback, I felt that something in the system of medicine is not working, and unfortunately I cannot influence this, and unfortunately my bosses also cannot influence this. And in the same time, my best friend, who is who at that time was front end developer, she co-founded organization which is called Riga Tech Girls, and she said, Marina, would you like to come to the first workshop and try to code? And I was in the last course last year in university, and I was like, of course I will come and try, because I have no idea how to code, I have no idea how IT people live and what they think and how they work. So in my medical, musical and another profession paradigm, I didn't really know what does mean code and program. So I started to help my best friend. I got to know a lot of people, and I started to learn everything what I saw at the workshops of Riga Tech Girls and at the meetups. I tried to copy how people talk. I tried to copy how they think, and the logic, how to think if you're a person from technology. So basically, I started to help my friend not only like be a sponge and get the different skills, but also I started to make Instagram for Regatta Girls. I made a post, and after 3 years, I got to understand that actually it's called social media management, and it's quite a popular profession in IT. But at that time, I didn't know this. I just was doing the thing in which I was quite good enough. So I started my career, let's say, in Riga Tech Girls with social media management and some help at the workshops. And basically I understood that technology and innovation is the way more different than the environment and the atmosphere where I was working, which is medicine. And I found that this is huge difference, which I can't really understand why it happens so much, why IT is so agile and flexible, and why medicine is not. So I noticed a lot of different problems, and I started to work and think about these problems. So I felt, all right, I have no idea what is IT, and I just started to Google a lot of different courses, starting from Python to IT operations. So online free courses, workshops, master classes, pushed me to have many ideas how I can use the technology in my private practice. At that time, I started to work as a speech language pathologist in my private practice. So I started to use augmented reality. I started to use other different things which I learned. And I got to university at the course of product commercialization, and one guy said to me that, hey, do you have some problems in medicine in your sphere which you can solve? And I said, yes, I do have a lot of them. I believe that I know what kind of problems have my patients, and I do as a healthcare specialist. So I presented more than 15 ideas, and for one idea, 5 people at that course joined my team, and we built a minimum viable product in 8 months by nights and by weekends, which actually I didn't have, but still. And in the beginning, we were working, and I presented my idea that we could help with virtual reality to children with autistic spectrum disorder and autism, because most of my patients were with autistic spectrum disorder. So we started to build, we built, and we were building a minimum viable product. And I felt that I still have to understand the context. I have to understand the community. So I started to attend all of the hackathons which were happening in Latvia. And that's why I got an experience and very practical comprehension and skills how to lead a team, how to develop MVP in 2 days, how to solve complicated problems, and how to get things done. So basically, hackathons, meetups, and projects pushed me that in the sense that I don't only believe into myself, I know that I really can do this. So I learned how to pitch, I learned how to lead a team. And what's next, I was thinking. And of course, I was more or less the only girl in the team, because all of other team members were, of course, guys and boys. So basically, I was thinking a lot of my career that, all right, I go to the hackathons, I do things in Riga Tech Girls, and I will still work in medicine. And I can't really change myself for now, but I can change obstacles, and I want to grow. I want to grow in my profession, because at that time, as I was experiencing that, I grew to the highest level in my profession. So I have to move forward. So I try to understand who are my surroundings, who is the community who supports me, what are the obstacles, who can influence me in a positive way. So it influenced my neurobiology, and I started to think that, all right, I have no idea where I go and what I do, but I will try to understand this. So I got to know different people, and I got to know different possibilities, and started to just push the buttons. And the next thing which I understood about myself quite easily and quite early, I would say that I'm typical passionarist, and this is term of very specific type of psycho, which is about to have a lot of different passions, and these passions are sustainable, not like just appears and disappears. No, passionarity is when you have huge visionary mindset, and you can build complicated things from different um, tiny things. And one more thing which I understood about myself, that I'm that type of person who can say that I want what I want, how I want, and where I want, because I knew that I have knowledge, I have ideas, I have me to make it work. And one more thing, which I actually would like to push you also to think, what is your speed of change? Because I felt that I need to change my life. I have to do things which truly inspire me and gives the opportunity to express all of my talents of languages, of music, of communication. So I felt that slow changes are frustrating me, and I need to get huge changes, and this is the only one thing which is interesting to me. And then I understood that in the industry where I work, there are different limitations, and these limitations are influencing also me. And in the beginning, it feels frustrating. But then, when you understand that this is the point where you can try to solve the problems of the users, of the patients, then it doesn't stop, it starts. And I felt that my idea, which we worked on with my team, with the programmers, designers, 3D designers in virtual reality, I felt that it's based on my values. That I want to change the world, and I cannot really wait for 100 years when people will be more inclusive, environment will be more inclusive, people will be thinking about diversity. So I felt that the product is depending on my values, and I felt that I really want to solve problems of my patients. And I saw that this is too complicated, because in these problems are not only my patients but also their parents, my colleagues, and the whole system of medicine. So I had to understand what are their problems, what are their needs, and I had to have a deep understanding of this. And also, it was very specific industry, health tech and ad tech and med tech. It's extremely specific industry, and everyone, if you talk with them, will say that it's it's very straight, it's not flexible, it's not agile, so you don't have to think about products in the health tech. And I really remember that at that time, 5 years ago, I remembered these words. So I knew about the obstacles, but I did have idea concept. So I had a theory that VR can help, hypothesis that VR can help to my specific patients. And I validated my idea, and the experience which we built really helped actually every my patients to achieve different skills development in sense of cognitive flexibility, and a sense of thinking, memory, attention, language, speech, and so on and so on. And then I understood that um, every product, every solution, and every um, let's say opening should be in a time, because at that time, 5 years ago, when no one really knew what does mean virtual reality, I couldn't really found a startup and say, hi, tomorrow you all will be using VR, because no one had headsets, no one had the ideas if this is safe, if this is risky. So I felt just intuitively that I have to wait, I have to get more experience, I got more knowledge. So my idea is that you must develop yourself, your product, and your company timely and at that time when it's supposed to be developed. And when you, as a female founder or person who's making your idea live, is working, you will hear maybe not, but I did experience this, a lot of stereotypes, because different people said to me that you are too young to be doctor, you're too young to work in the two industries in the parallel, in the IT and the medicine. You're a girl, actually, why you work so much? You're not a man, so maybe you should think about this. You are not shy, so where do you get your bravery to do this? And you're actually from different industry, you're not from IT, so I have no idea why did you decide to make this solution. And this is okay, because people have different thoughts, and if they share their thoughts with you, this is the first step towards understanding what is really happening in the society and what's happening, what people think about you. And yes, it's true. I was too young. I was a girl. I was not shy. And I was from different industry, but could this stop me from developing idea which I feel I'm on the right way? Of course not. And my best friend, Alina, she was giving me a lot of opportunities. And since she is working in IT, she invited me to go with her to the main technology conference, which actually for now is happening still in Lisbon, Web Summit. And then when I met and when I was in a huge area with more than 10,000 people from around the world who are in a web, who are in the technology, I felt that this is the only one place where I can share ideas, where I can do my things how I want and how I feel that this should be built. And at that time, 3 years ago, when I was first time at the Web Summit, I was thinking, yes, this is the environment where I get support and I feel free. And at that time, I was continuing to develop MVP and working in the medicine, and I was reading different lectures from Rigate girls and not in Rigate girls about different topics, starting from how to pitch to how to develop different solutions. And I went to hackathons. We won several hackathons with my ideas of different medical products. True that after hackathons, I believe after 5 hackathons, we continued to build the solution only from one hackathon, but still it's okay. And the second thing which pushed me to think global was that 3 years ago, Riga Tech Girls had a meeting, had a great visit of a royal guest, and this was extremely big and honored. It was big honor to understand that I can put my hand to something big, and that empowering women in tech, it's not only something theoretically, it's very practically. We organize workshops, we do different solutions, we talk to people, and we know that it's been needed. So I felt that I have to take some I have to take some decision, because it was the time when I couldn't really stay in medicine, because I did everything what I could, and I have so interest in life and I want to do everything at the same time. Of course, I can continue to play concerts and play piano and sing, either work as audiologist, either continue to go to be invited to different conferences at the panel and be the only one girl in the panel to talking about tech. But I felt that I have to make something bigger. And I was searching for business accelerator, either incubator, for more than 1 year. To be precise, I was looking for online opportunities to found a company, found a startup, more or less 2 years. And in 2020, in the summer of 2020, I've got news that VReach, my startup, is accepted in the one of the most impactful accelerators in Latvia. And since that time, 1 year passed, and we did so much things. And I believe that we should say that it's not only about me, it's about people, it's about my team who are working with me. And we started with the idea that we can help children with autism with virtual reality. But for now, our product grew so much, and we work with the health data, we work with health infrastructure, value-based healthcare, obligatory. If you would like to build your career in health tech, please Google what does it mean. And we built patient-centric solution. And we started to help children with autism, but for now our product helps to organize daily routine for healthcare specialists. In the second sense, specialists help children to receive the fast, effective, and measurable therapy, which is extremely innovative. And in the second sense, it helps doctors to understand what can be done better. And of course, it's huge help for parents because parents has transparency. Parents know what does mean therapy and why it should be given now and why it should it be measured. So behind this is one person, and this person is in front of you, and this road is totally not finished. But I had my vision and I had my ideas how should be things done, and what can I do if the main problems are not let's say I cannot really influence them. So, in my daily routine as a CEO and co founder of startup, I do a lot of different things. And it's not only talking to the customers, it's connected to virtual reality, to user interface, idea, validation, therapy design, testing, customer experience, patient experience, development, implementation, content creation, social media management, PR, medicine and pedagogy, methodology, scientific research, society education, communication, team leadership, team well being, product roadmap, vision, strategy, customer relationship, and marketing. All these things I do by myself. And after that, as I always say this joke, I do have my lunch. And it's complicated, it's hard. Sometimes it's limiting other parts of the life, but it does make sense for me because my values are to make this world more sustainable, more inclusive, more comprehensive, more empathetic, and more digital. So my motivation is when I see specialists and doctors' eyes where they are so happy, satisfied, and engaged in their job. When I see that special pedagogists, they are so happy that innovation came not only to medicine but also to education field by our product. When I see children and I receive feedback that he didn't talk like never before in his life, and he started to talk, he started to communicate verbally, I do have goose skin, and this is very beautiful. So, where to focus if you would like to be a female founder or develop your product? The world is very different, and you have to understand that people and community are those people who can help you, um, who can make you grow. And the spreads and stereotypes, they also exist, and this is okay. Objective limitations as a time or money, it exists, but this is the thing which can be solved. Sustainability, humanism, progress, and creativity. This is something which is in society, and maybe you won't find so many research papers which straightly say that our world sustainability should be built on basis of how to be human, how to be empathic human, how to build progress and creativity. But it's true. So build a product and think about greatest ideas which are for people and for their lives. And think about yourself, about me, about you, about your values, and try to find these values. They can change, but still try to be bold on your values. And your motivation, your temperament, your limitations, development, joy, and expression of your personality could be done more or less in many industries, but in technology and innovation industry, it's the fastest and the most impactful. So think about the career in IT differently, definitely, and be bold because You don't have to think about yourself, you have to think about greatest ideas which will inspire you. So if you would like to be and become female founder, don't expect from yourself a lot. When you don't know how the world works and you have a lot of different inspirations, don't let this world to get you frustrated. You're beautiful, you're smart, and you always can learn anything. Enjoy the process and road. Don't focus always only on results. Focus on how to enjoy the road to solution. And 95% of your time think about people and their problems, and only 5% of your time think about yourself. This will really help you to focus greatly. And if we talk more concrete, if you'd like to develop your idea, identify a problem, create a prototype of idea, firstly of idea, not of the solution, then work on the idea, validate idea, know the resources, what you need, maybe people, maybe money, maybe time, and let people enter your life, because if there is a beautiful solution, people will come and express the desire to work with you, and make an minimum viable product, a minimum lovable product. Make the product which people will love, and find people who will invest in your autonomy, neither into idea, because a lot of people would will try to help you by doing on your spot. It's not the true point of grow. You have to do everything on your own and do a lot of things, and then you will shot to the moon. And find people who will invest in your resources, and join community. Of course, join Regatta Girls. And I would like to suggest you, if you would love to think about idea, how to become startup founder, either idea founder, this is the place where you can find a lot of different books. Most of them are in English or Russian, but still, I would love to suggest you to take a look into books, into podcasts, and courses. And think about empathy. Empathy is the key to any global, any huge problem, any complicated problem. Um, Work a lot, because as much as you work, you will succeed. So basically, this is my quote, and I would be super happy to receive your ideas, to understand how can I help you, because I also after I also mentor, and I would love to support you. And if you need some advice, if you need some idea, or just cheer up, feel free to write to Regatta Girls, and we will always support you. And remember that I started 29 years ago, and it's not a lot of time, but it's enough to make huge changes in a thousands of time. So I believe in you, and feel free to contact me. Thank you so much.